Hi, Rodney. How are you?
Good. What's up? What's up, Stacy? Hey,
Good.
hey.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Beautiful start to a beautiful week.
Yes. So, everyone, thanks for joining. I'm here today with actor Rodney Damon Collins. He plays Mr. Advocate in our feature film, Mr. Advocate. He also is a producer on the film, and he also has his own works that he directs and produces. So, we'll talk more about that. But, Rodney, tell us about Mr. Advocate first and your character, Nathan.
Oh, wow. First of all, Stacy, it is an honor and thank you once again for allowing me to bring your story to life through Nathan. Nathan, I connected with him in so many ways. Nathan is a character who his wife had recently passed away, and he was coming from the corporate world, corporate executive. And his wife had really was throughout their marriage wanted him to become an educator because she really saw that gifting in him. But he chose to, stay in the corporate world because he wanted to make the money. And he recognized though that he wanted to honor her by going into education. So with her passing, he became an educator. But while going into education, he was dealing with processing and grieving the loss of his wife while stepping into a new career, and then stepping into the school, which he wants to bring change. He's all about, hey, let's do this, let's do that. So he walks into the school and he has to deal with some situations that are causing some issues for the change that Nathan really wants to bring into the school, bringing AI into the school, allowing the kids to really grow and open up the school's resources what are being offered to the kids because he felt like they really deserved it. So he's dealing with, a lot of different things, new career, grieving a past career, grieving the life loss of his wife, um, in a way, grieving stepping into a new career that he's not being fully embraced. Also, so there's a lot of layers that to this cake that Nathan is really dealing with.
Yeah, and thank you for pointing that out. This is actually June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So this film definitely delves into some mental health issues that happen in the character's professional life and personal life. So yeah, I hope that it can help everyone to see the different forms that grief can show itself and
Yeah.
to seek help when necessary.
Yes.
So yeah. And well, I just lost my train of thought.
That's that's all right. I'll bring the train back in if you need me to.
What was it? Missed. Okay, so Nathan, have you ever played a character like that? First, tell us how long you've been an actor, and then I want to know if
Phew.
you had a character like Nathan before.
If you look up my acting career, what it says online, it officially started in 2014. So I've been acting 12 years. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. I have over 50 TV and film credits and won a few awards and produced 4 films myself. A character like Nathan, to answer your question, I've never played a character like Nathan before. So it was very exciting when I read the script that you sent me because I connected with him in so many ways, with just even in my personal life. So it was an amazing opportunity. It was an incredible blessing. And it allowed me to even process healing while playing Nathan.
Awesome. Well, that's good. You did an excellent job, Rodney. I can't, the adjective excellent doesn't even describe it. I don't know how to say it, but I was moved on set. I'm not going to give spoilers away of what happens, but what you brought throughout the film is it's just so impactful. I think it's something so on many layers. One,
Mhm,
I think we need to see men be vulnerable the way that your character was.
mhm.
I also like how your character maneuvers through the workplace, school politics, and how and navigating that is not easy for many adults in
Yeah.
their workplaces. So it's very relatable, the character. And the character was an advocate, but he what's the, I don't know, was calm, or his demeanor was, I can't describe it, but I like the way you showed the duality, that he's an advocate, but then he's also balancing all these things at school and has to somewhat be reserved. It was a good
Hmm.
mix how you did that. So tell us
Yeah.
about the acting, the mind of how you got into that character.
Well, one thing I felt like portraying Nathan, I needed to make sure I stay as grounded as possible.
That's a
To
good word. Ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I really wanted to make sure that, because Nathan's character, he is a corporate executive. So most corporate executives, are pretty, well grounded. They have pretty much good control over their emotional intelligence, and how to communicate it. Even when they're very frustrated about certain things, in order to get things done, they know how to handle it. So he was bringing some of that in, because that was some of my backstory. Because when you gave me the character, I basically put that Nathan, was a Harvard Business School graduate, and I had all this stuff about Nathan's background, his whole history, how he came up. He was first generation college, which I am truly first generation college. So, but how he's just worked his way all the way up the corporate ladder. He married his college sweetheart. So I pulled all those things. Nathan had a whole life before he entered into the school.
Yeah.
so, so I put all that together, and then just coming into the school, he has to demonstrate that he's passionate, because he is. He's very passionate about bringing change and working with these kids who really, really deserve the best. So, in order to do that, Nathan had to make sure that he didn't burn the bridges, but he might have sizzled, might like seared them a little bit in order to get some results. He had to, stir up some stuff to get people going, and I think that's important, that Nathan's character had those two balances and how to navigate in the school world, coming from the professional corporate world.
Yeah, I like that. You said seared, little sizzle.
Yeah, look, pan seared, just pan seared. Didn't fry, just pan seared.
And and we do, because that's real life.
Hey,
That
hey.
is, yep.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Natalie. That she's one of the actors in our film Sweet Chariot. Yep. We have Mr. Advocate is one of three films in the System trilogy. So Mr. Advocate comes out first, and then Sweet Chariot. So yes, it that is a real life thing that I feel people have to balance sometimes in the workplace. So very relatable character. Now you have this acting career, but you also have directed and produced. Do you want to
Mhm.
share any of your past projects, current projects, future projects?
Yeah, I'll share two that are very close to my heart. Very close, because one was my first project I ever did, and it's called Sleepers. One, I had just learned, just from connecting with so many people in the film industry, on how to really produce a film. I am a student every time I work. So I don't care if I back in the day, I did background like consistently back in the day. So I would always try to learn things. I would get connected with the DP. There was one time I was working on NCIS, this was years ago, and they were all looking at the monitor, reviewing the scene. I asked the second, I said, because they had told everybody, go ahead and go to Crafty. I was like, I'm not here to eat. I can eat at home. I need to learn this, because I didn't go to film school. So I asked this second, I said, do you mind if I take a look at you guys, like reviewing what you watched? He looked at me like shocked. He was like, oh, sure, come on and join us. So I'm standing over there, like right behind them. I'm standing next to LL Cool J, all of them, like watching the watching the scene and stuff. And that's when LL, he actually tapped me. He was like, so what's up? So my man, so so you serious about this, huh? I said, yeah, I am. I'm very serious. I was like, this is my life. I was like, my wife is trusting me in this. This is not a hobby. I
Hmm.
got to make this work. And so he said, okay. He said, man, I say a prayer for you, brother. But he was like one
Right.
of the nicest people on set. And so, and then I remember talking to Kerry Washington. This was like my first time ever doing anything in production in LA. And I stood next to Kerry Washington for 12 hours on and off in a scene. And I was asking her questions left and right. And she was the kindest person, but she was pouring into me. I've always seeked out mentors. One of my closest mentors, Bill Cobbs, the great Bill Cobbs, who passed a couple years ago. He was the first celebrity to pull me in. Um, when I was moving out here, he gave me his phone number. He was like, "You look me up when you get here." And I'm like, they all say that. So when I got there, I called him. I said, "Yeah, Bill, I'm here now." He was like, "Come on over to the house." I was like, "Come over." I was like, "Okay." So I come over, and Bill spent so much time with me. And he always told me that he's like an uncle. He ain't no grandfather to me. He was like, I'm your uncle. He was like, I may be older, but you just call me, uncle, whatever. He was just so cool. But for several years, Bill allowed me to hang with him wherever he went. So much so that he went into casting offices. This was back in the day with the headshots in hand and the resume stapled on the back. He was like, "You got your resume and stuff in the car?" I said, "Yeah, I do." Because I used to carry it. For those of you guys who don't know, before self tapes, there was a time when you would have to carry your headshot and resume everywhere you go. So I used to have about 20 of them all the time, stapled, ready to go. And he was like, hand it to me. He walked it into a casting director and he was like, "She gonna call you one day." And he just winked at me. I was just like, wow. But he introduced me to like Bill Dukes, a bunch of people, Margaret Avery, which I love. She like hugged me and everything. I love Margaret Avery. We had an amazing time, but he took me around all these legends and he allowed them to pour into me also. So get back. I had to tell you that, give you a little backstory. I'm a backstory person for context.
It's fine.
Yeah, but Sleepers is the first film I ever did. And I sometimes will hashtag myself Black James Bond because I want to play some action films. I really do want to do action films. I love them. I've been loving them since I was a child. So the film was basically I took elements from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I took elements from like True Lies back in the day with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie, and what else did I pull? I pulled a couple other elements, but I mixed it together and formed my own version of a spy film. So everybody who played in that film, I thank you to this day because we had a super, super tight budget. And like I financed it myself. One of my closest friends uh, allowed me to rent his house. I did. I paid to rent his house. I didn't just use it. I paid to rent his house to use. We shot the film in 13 hours. And yeah, Dave's Judy's. I thank him for being. He actually helped direct it, and he did a lot of the DP work. He edited and everything. It was just amazing. But we did fight choreography. Um, we actually rehearsed for 3 weeks before we actually shot the film, and it was so much fun. Like after I did that, I was like, okay, I am officially a filmmaker because now I got my first film under my belt, and I'm still turning that character into a graphic novel. His name is Damon Jackson. You know, Damon, my middle name, my wife's maiden name Jackson, so it's a tribute. And I always told my wife that everything I do, I'm going to do some way to honor her because she trusted me in this industry. And then another project is called Wilson Hall. And this because this is the first project I ever produced with my son. It was a podcast. It happened during the SAG strike. And I have to thank my son he wrote 75, I think 80% of it. He's an incredible writer. And then I wrote the rest. And we rented out a podcast studio. We brought in the actors, which my boy Greg, Patrice Fisher, everybody, a lot of actors, a lot of people know who Patrice Fisher is. She's been an actress for a very long time. She came in, she played the professor in the film, yeah, in the project and podcast crime series. My son and I both acted in it. We had, I think, Amira. There's a few other people who are good friends with my son who came in to be a part of it. Then Brad, who's basically like my nephew. He's a writer out here too. But we put together this podcast crime series that took place at a college. It was a mystery murder called Wilson Hall, and it's still playing right now on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, everything. But what that show was, one, me and my son coming together and producing something. Two, yeah, two was is that we took control of our careers. We didn't allow the SAG strike to stop us from working. Because I was still able to work, and I got it up under SAG. Still, I made it. I got it approved by SAG. For those of y'all who wonder, but it was an incredible project, and to watch my son's gifting, and to this day, he is flourishing as a writer, and he's growing even more and more, and he's a good actor too. So those two projects that I was involved in producing and directing are to me, the most dearest ones to me.
Okay, cool. I have
Yeah.
watched Sleepers,
Uh huh.
and that, yeah, I saw the fight scene. So you must have had a stunt choreographer.
Yes, we did. We had two. We had two stunt choreographers, Vanessa and my boy Virgil. They
Okay.
came. Yeah, they came, and we took 3 weeks of training. We did it at my home. I had to let my neighbors know. I said, if you see fake guns and people fighting, we actually, because they knew I was an actor. I was like, we're doing practice. I was like, don't call the police.
Right.
But we did it like in the behind my home and in the garage, all kind of stuff. It was crazy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Cool. Yeah, the scenes, they were real action in Sleepers, and people can find that on YouTube. Correct?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel now. It actually has a lot of good views too. If it was longer, I would. At one point, I was going to put it like on Amazon, but just like I said, I'm gonna turn it into a graphic novel. I still want to do more with it. So, God willing, I want to eventually turn that into a project that I get out there because who knows, you might be working with me on
We'll see. We'll see.
it.
I'm trying to stay in the education space,
Hey,
but
it does have some AI stuff that I'm putting
no.
in, incorporating some technology, so you might want to be a part of it.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So talk to us about the directing and producing. I think acting probably is your first love, but
It
it's
is.
okay.
Mhm.
So then how did you get started into acting if you want to talk about that?
Oh wow. Well, out of college, I wanted to get involved in Cleveland.
Mhm.
So, but it was just it's just a tough market just to do at the time. Couldn't do it like vocationally. So I got an agent. I was doing some crazy stuff like where I was working at the company. I won't name them so they won't go back and be like, "Wow, you was doing that doing work." But I would get a call from the agent like, "Hey, can you be at this audition at 2 o'clock?" And I would leave the office and go to the audition. And then I actually did a full shoot one day when I was supposed to be at work.
Ooh, Rodney.
Yeah, so I was trying to find ways, and I even like was trying my best to get connected. Like my wife and I, this was back in the day when they used to do those talent searches, which I tell everybody to avoid like the plague, because I got burned by one. But we went to one that was up in upstate New York, and spent money, just to because I got invited to go. So I'm thinking, oh man, this could be my big break, and it wound up being a poof. But it taught me, one, that how much I really do want to do this. And but I actually, after that, my daughter and son were born, so I tabled my desires to become an actor. At that point, I was like, I prayed and I was like, God, if you have this for me to do, I trust you'll bring it back to me at some point in life, but I'm gonna let it go because I got a full family in the house. I got two young kids, so I let it go. 20 years later, I'm like, really, God? I was like, you got such a sense of humor. I was like, I'm like not really trying to do this at this point in my life. He
Mhm.
brought it back to me, and I did a play. This was at church, and anybody know the church plays, but our church, we had a high standard for productions, very high. And I played a character. His name was Phil. And I played the character so good, my wife was like, she didn't even recognize me.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was like, "Wait, do I need to talk to you, or am I talking to Phil?" Because so, and she was like, "I think I need to watch Phil because if Phil is inside you, I got some problems now." So that kind of reignited the flame.
Uh-huh.
And then I did a film in Columbus. This was before moving out here, called Equal Chances. And I remember driving back and forth from Cleveland to Columbus, whether for auditions or for filming. I would just 2 hours, just jump on the road, go out there, and I would drive back after filming. And I actually did that project for free, because they didn't really have a budget. But I was like, man, I got to do this. And when they say that it's something you can do for free, chance it's a good chance that that's something that's really a calling for you. Not necessarily that you have to do as a vocation, but it's definitely a calling. If you're willing to do it for free, now those days have changed. For anybody watching this thinking you go offer something for free, those days are over. That was 15 years ago. But now I was like, at the time, I needed to build up a resume and build and get connected, and also sharpen who I am, I was as an actor. And then a door opened for us to move out to LA. And I took the opportunity to move to LA, but it was for a job. And it wasn't to work in the industry. And the job that brought me here 6 months after they brought us here, they laid me off. And I was like, oh, wow. You moved me to one of the most expensive places in the world. You had to know there was some budget issues before moving me out here. But I was like, even if they did know, God knew too. So I trusted God through the whole process. And I just didn't know really what to do in the LA landscape. So that's when um, my one of my aunts, she was just like, "Hey, have you thought about getting involved in acting out here? You did it back there." I was like, "How do I do that out here? I don't know anyone." She was like, "Just register at Central Casting. Just get on set." I was like, "Central Casting? What's that?" I didn't even know what it was. And when I registered, it was that's what how it ended up working at Scandal with Kerry Washington, like first day ever on set. And
Wow.
it was just an amazing experience. And I remember as I was walking on set that day, I stopped by a trailer. I have a habit of stopping by trailers and stopping by production studios and thanking God in advance for the roles that are waiting on me here and the opportunities. I just started praying. This was years before I knew anything was going to happen. So the person who played Papa Pope on Scandal, I can't remember his name right now. Amazing actor, but I didn't know I was standing outside his trailer. But I was just praying and just thanking God for my time. And as I walked away, he walked out his trailer. I was like, dang, did he hear me? And he walked up to me, shook my hand, introduced himself. He's like, man, you're gonna be fine, young man. I was like, was he listening to me? But those moments, I believe, is what led me to the point I am now. Like I train, I've gone to different acting schools. I've read The Power of the Actor numerous times. Ivana Chubbuck, which that book I recommend, highly recommend to everybody. It just helps you really understand the process of reading a script, breaking down, getting into a character, bringing that character to life, being true to the script, being true to the audience. Um, I have to thank Cassandra Sanders. She's a playwright here. She's put me in three of her productions. She even put my son and we acted on a Hollywood stage together in a play because of her. I remember when I first met her, I shook her hand and she was like, "You gonna be in one of my plays." And once again, I'm like, "That's Hollywood talk." So, but a couple years later, sure enough, and then she introduced me to somebody I always admired in the industry, Oba Babatunde.
Mm-hmm.
He was the nicest person. He actually oversaw our table read and he was critiquing my read. And, I was just like, I'm trying not to fan out, but I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in this element that I prayed for. And so these are some amazing people who have opened doors for me. And I still believe, I was like, God, I believe I have so much more time left in the industry, Lord willing. And I just enjoy this industry. I love it. And the beauty of this now is that we can do this anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're no longer isolated to having to be in the New York, LA, or wherever. You can be anywhere. So that's what I love about it now. And I'll stop because I'll keep going.
No, that's good. That's helpful for me. So,
Yeah.
but is that because everything is mostly self tapes now?
Yes. With self tapes, if you can get to a location, you can get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all that matters now. So it's beautiful. You can act wherever, and creators are building their own platforms online and stuff like that now. So it's a different day, which is beautiful. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
yeah.
And so, as a working actor, are you submitting self tapes? weekly? Is that how it works?
Well, put it like this: prior to the strikes, I was averaging probably about 4 to 5 auditions a week, which was amazing. This year, I've only had 6 auditions this year, and it's because the industry is much slower. But every audition I've had has been extremely, like a very good role, series regular, recurring type characters, which those are the ones you aspire to have anyway, because those are the ones that create a long career. So that's why auditions are definitely down for just about everybody I know, and it's just because the industry is going through a contraction, it's going through change. But I encourage every actor out there that we're not going nowhere. And just like the song, we gonna make it, we gonna make it, we gonna make it, we gonna make it. Because I really believe it. I was like, we're gonna get through this. I was like, the season has seen pits, has seen, peaks, has seen valleys, and it's life. Life is like that. Life is full of peaks and valleys. I tell everybody, get your surfboard on and ride the wave, baby. Just ride it. It's like,
Okay, that's
ride it.
that.
Sometimes you go wipe out. Sometimes you're not.
Pat Tanisha says that's her song too.
That's on my morning playlist, baby.
So wow, okay, so you're submitting. Is it a mix of you submitting your own
Or
auditions or self tapes, and your agent helps too?
my representation, they do most of the submitting now because honestly, the representation get the breakdowns of the roles that are kind of like life changing. Or like network TV, we don't have access to those breakdowns. Like I can't submit myself to a CIS breakdown. You have to have representation. There's layers, and I call it gatekeeping, but it's layers
Mhm.
to get to that. So you definitely, it's definitely good to have representation to get to those layers. But I tell everybody, I didn't get an agent or manager out here for my first 3 years in the industry. All I was concerned on was building my resume in any project I can get in, student film, whatever, just because I needed to get experience. And no agent worth their salt is going to sign somebody with zero like credits or a very small resume. They can't help you because I've been in rooms with Flex Washington, other actors at the same time. Flex was so cool. This was for Euphoria, but we sitting in there getting ready for the audition, and we looked at each other, and he was like, "Hey, go kill it, brother." I said, "You too, King." It was all love. It wasn't like looking at each other like, "Oh, he competition." No, it was love because we. The thing is, what's for you is for you. You learn to root for each other because I've watched certain roles that I really thought I wanted, and then when I saw it on TV and saw what they did, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm glad I didn't get it." I'm glad I didn't get that role because I am not doing that. So, that's how I look at it. It's peace.
Okay, cool. What do you like most about acting?
Oh my goodness. Man, that's like I like so many things about it. I like stepping into the life of somebody's that I may not ever become and bringing that person to life. I do. That's probably why I want to be an action hero so bad because in real life, those are real bullets, and I ain't trying to catch them. I
Right.
ain't trying. I ain't trying to really be out in the streets fighting people, but I'll play all day like that. you
Yeah.
know. So
You're funny, Rodney. You should do comedy too. Have you thought
no,
about
no, no,
comedy?
no, 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 no. I am definitely not stand up. No, 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 no. I
Okay.
have this way up here level for stand up actors. I'm very good friends with Ron G. Everybody know comedian Ron G. And I go sometimes when he's hosting Chocolate Sundays and other stuff. Every comedian, I'm like, I watch, I'll be like, oh, no, 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 no. I will sit and laugh at what y'all do. But I am not about to get up there for 30 minutes to try to hold an audience. Too much respect for that.
Got it.
I could be funny in regular conversation with us. I know my level of funny is with us.
Got it.
And in roles, I can be funny in a character. But on stage, no, no, I leave that to the people who do that.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, any closing thoughts you have about anything?
Man, I would just say that Right now, a lot of people are dealing with some difficult things in life. It's probably tougher than ever for most of us right now. But I would just tell people, uh, like I was singing, "We gonna make it, we gonna make it." I was joking, but I was also serious. Um, I have been able to get this far in life through my faith. And I tell everybody, and I'm just going to be very clear because I can be clear and I don't care, but my faith is in Jesus. And I hold it very hard and very close to my heart. Gotten me through some extremely difficult times in my life so that I don't value myself based upon whatever level of so called success we call. Learn to define success for yourself.
Mm,
Set your own benchmarks. Don't allow society to set benchmarks for you. Set your own, trust God, trust the process, and love people as much as possible. Smile as much as possible. It's easier to smile, takes much more effort to frown. You use all these muscles in your face to frown, but smile just like that beautiful. You have a beautiful smile. I love when you smile, Stacey. It's smiling is like it's so like your face just light up. Like when you smile, the glow just come out.
mm,
So and I'll say this last part. Jim Valvano in the don't ever give up speech. He said, there's three things you should always do every day. You should cry, have something to bring you to cry, have something to bring you to laugh, and have something to bring you to just think and ponder every single day. And he was like, you have a very full life. And his last words were, don't give up, don't ever give up. And I can just keep saying that right now.
okay, that's a word. Thank you, Rodney.
You welcome. You welcome.
Awesome. Cool.
I'm
Well, you
pumped
guys,
up. Yeah, baby.
yes, yes, you guys can see Rodney in all his glory as
Oh,
Nathan in Mr. Advocate. We're screening at the Brave Maker Film Festival Saturday, July 11th, and also in Richmond, California at a movie theater Saturday, August 15th at 3 o'clock p.m. More information coming soon. Thank you so much, Rodney. Have a good rest of your day.
Stacy, thank you. And just like I said, you are making an incredible difference.
Okay.
You are operating on purpose. You are touching way too many lives.
I'm operating on purpose. That's
Yes, you
all
are.
I'll say.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you are touching lives because you touched mine. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I'll
I'm
make
just
I'll make you cry right now if I need to. Not just playing. Go ahead.
I'm a
Thank you. Thank you.
vessel.
Yeah.
I the
Well,
spirit leads through. So
you are an obedient vessel because there's a lot
yeah.
of vessels that are not obedient.
Mm. It's not easy to be obedient either. It's a sacrifice.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
love you, sis, and thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Love you too. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank
Have
you.
a good one. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.